Hi Sagittarius, Trishna here. Welcome to your December 2019 love reading. So in today's video, we're going to mostly focus on doing a tarot reading. Before we get into that, I'm going to share the intuitive insights I've already picked up on. Then I'm going to shuffle a deck of cards, I'm going to pull out some cards for you, and then I'm going to show you the cards as we walk through each one for the rest of the reading. So what I'm feeling for you, Sagittarius, is I feel like you are in a really good place right now. I feel like you're very happy. I feel like you are looking forward to the holiday time period. For some people, the holidays can be a little bit sad or a little bit lonely. I feel like you are feeling really good about the holidays, and I feel like you kind of knew that you were going to be feeling good about the holidays. And now, as you get closer to it, you realize, yeah, I am going to be feeling really good around the holidays. I feel like in a romantic sense, you feel good. I feel like you do know that there are some troubled waters up ahead. There are some things that you're going to have to deal with, some issues that can arise, but I also feel like you're very confident in dealing with these issues. You know that they are going to come, and I feel like you feel very much in control of yourself, which might be something that you haven't felt in a long time. And because you feel a lot more in control of yourself, that's why you're feeling really good right now. And that's why you feel really good about your relationship and the obstacles that may come. And you feel really good about being able to overcome them in really positive ways. And you feel really good about your relationship in 2020. You feel like 2020 is going to be a really nice, happy year for your love life and for your relationship. I feel like some of you may be thinking about having children or starting a family. I feel like some of you may not even be married at this point yet or even fully committed, but in your head you're kind of skipping ahead and already thinking about having a family with your partner and being a team and going on that journey with them. So you could say that you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, like putting the cart before the horse, but I don't feel like that's really the case. I feel like your mental direction and enjoying that kind of vision is really good. Like, go ahead and do that. It's making you feel good, it's making you feel positive, and if that's where you want to go, if you're thinking about the end result, eventually things will align so that that is the result that you end up having. And I feel like you feel really excited about this whole having kids idea. I feel like you feel so much closer to it now than you ever have before. Like, it feels like it's something that may actually materialize for you. So there are some steps that need to happen before then, but I feel like you're in a really, really good place. Emotionally, you feel really good about the holidays, you feel really good about your relationship, and you feel even better about how the relationship is going to be in 2020. Any issues that you think could come up, you are not worried about, you know it can be handled. You feel very much in control of yourself, and you are really thinking about your future and being in a team, being a partner with your partner, and having a team that handles or like that raises kids together and builds a family together. So you're really excited about that journey and just your journey to come. Now, I do want to say that I feel like your emotions can be a little bit back and forth. So sometimes you're feeling really good, really happy, really high, and other times you're feeling really down, really low, really depressed. And so you tend to fluctuate between these two extremes. And I feel like what you really need to focus on right now is balance and focus, because these two extremes are not helping you, they're really not benefiting you. It's good to feel really happy, but if that comes with feeling really sad, then a balance really needs to be created first, and you need to build a balance that you're very comfortable with and start getting acclimated to that before you can have these highs, because without the balance you end up having the reciprocating lows. So that balance comes from focus, which is focusing on what really matters. So when you're really excited, really happy, in a really good mood, having wonderful ideas, wanting to pursue all of these different hobbies and options and career paths, let's say, that's good. It's good to have that happy energy, but remember what matters and channel that happy energy towards what matters, what's actually going to move you forward. Don't spread your happiness too thin and start chasing after different kinds of options. And the same thing when you are not feeling good. Like, remember what matters and focus on that, so that even though you may not be feeling good, you are always focused on what matters and what's going to move you forward. So be very clear on what matters and make sure that you hold to that no matter what extreme of the emotional scale that you're on. And I think that's really going to help you continue to have more control over yourself and therefore over your life. And I think that you're going to feel much better. And I think that this will help you with the obstacles to come in your relationship. And I think it will really help to make 2020 that amazing relationship year that you already sense and can feel is here. So now you know that it's there, you can feel it, it's in the energy, that's why you feel it in your core. That means that it already exists. It just needs to come from the spirit world to the material world. And in order for you to do that, the action for you is to know what matters, focus on that, and use that to keep you balanced. And once you get used to doing that, which I don't think will take you very long, I think three weeks of really practicing that, you will have everything that you envision for yourself, you will have. It will materialize, and in really positive ways. So Sagittarius, that's what I'm getting for you for the intuitive portion. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck, pull some cards out, show you the cards, I'm going to walk through them. Alright Sagittarius, so I shuffled the deck and pulled some cards out for you. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to cover this top row right here, and then if you're interested in the extended, we will cover the last 6 cards over here and pull any additional clarifying cards as needed. So in the top row, the cards we're going to be talking about today, we have the 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the 6 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. And what this is basically saying is the 10 of Pentacles, I think, represents your past energy. I think that there was a lot around you that was really positive, that you were excited about, but you were having a hard time connecting to that. You were having a hard time really enjoying that and appreciating what was around you. There was a lot of internal sadness or disappointment or detachment that you're feeling inside that made it hard for you to really see what all the positives that were going on the outside, even though visually you could see it. So mentally, maybe you understood that there was a lot going on that was really good, but emotionally, somehow you felt very disconnected. Now, ultimately, what ended up happening is you finally decided, you know what, I see a lot that's going on around me, and I'm just going to go by what I see. I'm going to go by the facts. I'm going to go by what is good. I'm going to go by the tangible. I'm going to go by what I can really rely on because it's there and I can see it, and it's the obvious. And I'm going to let go of the internal detachment that I've been feeling because that's really not helping me. That's really not getting me anywhere. There's no benefit that I'm receiving from that. So you've now come to this point where there's a lot around you. I mean, there's always been a lot around you that you could celebrate and appreciate, but you're finally coming around to accepting it as that and actually appreciating what is here versus like seeing it but not really truly connecting with it. So you're in a much more positive place like we talked about in the first part of this video. There's a lot that you have to appreciate, and you're finally finding ways to connect with that and realizing what you truly have in your life, which you had a hard time realizing before. Now, this Ace of Swords represents to me that you felt really good about the situation and you decided to go ahead and make a move with your newfound knowledge, your newfound appreciation for what was there. And I feel like you made that move, and I feel like in many ways that move ended up being positive. It may have gotten you some of the results that you wanted, but not all of them. Something wasn't quite as perfect as you wanted, or something didn't go quite as planned as you would have liked. So you made a good move, and you got some results, but it wasn't as pretty of an ending as you saw for yourself, or even as pretty of a new beginning as you saw for yourself. And the reason for that is because I think you came in a little strong, a little bit aggressively, and maybe you had some expectations that are a little early to have or that don't really fit the situation or something like that. And so you made a good move. It was based off of a newfound understanding, which I think was very sound. But the move that you made was aggressive, I think, in the sense that you went in a little too strong, or maybe you were focused way too much on a certain end result that you wanted, and you forgot that there is a progression. Like, there are steps in between where you are now and where you want to be. And sometimes you can make those leaps, but in your situation, I think that because it took you a while to really appreciate what was going on in your life and the positives, and because there was this disconnection, when you come in all of a sudden out of the blue, it's like you already skipped some steps and try to skip over a healing process that needs to happen first. So there is an end result that you want. In the inside portion of this video, we talked about That possibly being that you want to start a family with your partner and you want to go on that kind of journey with them and you're excited about working on goals like that together. But in these cards, I'm seeing this Four of Wands, which I think is what you were really aiming for with this Ace of Swords. Like that's you were aiming for this Four of Wands. Four of Wands represents a commitment of some sort. Some people refer to it as a marriage card, but there is a healing that needs to happen first. There is a journey that needs to happen here before you can really make that leap. Maybe before this leap could have been made, but something occurred here where healing needs to happen first. And this Four of Wands is 100% possible in your situation. And if this Four of Wands does not represent commitment or marriage, maybe you're already married, then it represents those kids that we were talking about before that you would like to have, building that family. That is 100% something that you can have in this situation, but there must be healing first. And that will take a little bit of time. Now, it doesn't have to take long. This is something that can take maybe 2 weeks, but it really does need to happen before any of the rest of this situation can progress. And I feel like for you, like you may feel like you need some healing. And so what you would like is you would like this Ace of Wands, which is like you would like the other person involved or somebody to reciprocate this move that you have made and to bring balance to the situation in that way. Like you feel like there's something that someone else needs to do to add to the situation to make things better. And the thing that you have to understand is that the healing may need to be started or like instigated by you first before it can be reciprocated, just because of the nature of the situation. Because remember that you weren't really present, you weren't very attached in the beginning, you were distant and detached. And that's really what started a lot of things that need healing. And so like that's why the healing may need to start from you. I think the other thing with this Ace of Wands is that you feel like the person may need to show up in the same way that you show up or express things the same way that you express things and make the kinds of moves that you make. But you have to understand that this personality is different. And so their offer is going to look different. Their approach is going to appear different. Like you come in with a very aggressive energy. I feel like this Ace of Wands is a bit more timid or gentle energy. And so they're polar opposites. And that means that the two energies can complement each other, but they're also polar. They can completely clash with each other. And so there needs to be some kind of healing or understanding at a deeper level that needs to happen. Now, both of these Ace of Wands are both pointing towards this Four of Wands in the middle. There are two sides to this, and both sides are wanting this. I feel like your energy wants this a little bit more than the Ace of Wands. That is not a love situation. It's not because the love isn't there. It's because of the healing that needs to happen before this side can really open up to being able to believe that this is possible, that this is actually in the cards. So they are having some hesitations because of what has happened in the past and the way that you've made some of your moves and the expectations that you've come in with that maybe aren't right for the timing and the situation and where the energy of the relationship is right now. So I hope this is making sense. You can have this Four of Wands. Both of you would like this Four of Wands. You want it more, but not because you love them more and they love you less. It's because there is a healing that needs to happen first, and the expectations that are being placed on this side do not match the level of expectations that should be there in the relationship given what has already happened and the healing that is needed. So there's some kind of expectations that you have that are really creating issues that don't need to be created. So really focus on the healing and doing that for 2 weeks, and then essentially you two will move very quickly to both being on the same page about this Four of Wands and being able to materialize that really, really quickly actually, and being able to move forward towards that vision of children and a family that you want, that you feel deep inside, that you feel is really, really close. So close you can almost taste it. It is, but this needs to happen first. And with the Six of Cups, what I feel is that right now, again, there's this different kind of expectations that you've set that aren't really in alignment with what needs to happen here. And that's what's stopping this situation. That's what's kind of holding up this Ace of Wands. And the expectations that I'm feeling here with the Six of Cups I feel is representing here is that you are trying to offer something to the situation or to the partner, and that's really nice. Like normally the Six of Cups is actually a really positive card. It's you or somebody offering something and it being very well received and there being like this mutual connection. But what's happening in your situation, in your reading with the Six of Cups, is that you are putting in an offer, but your offer comes with strings attached. Your offer comes with expectations. Your offer comes with a bit of a bitter taste to the other person. And somehow I don't feel like you're realizing that. Like your offer isn't completely pure. It's not completely done with joy and happiness. There's this aggressive energy again that's there, that's like trying to force a situation that can't be forced. You can't skip over healing. You can't force healing to happen without there actually being healing happening between the two of you, without those steps actually being accomplished. And you're trying to skip over a really important process of building a really good foundation that will lead you to your results if you build that foundation. And honestly, what I'm feeling is like, even if you don't build that foundation and that healing, I feel like you are headed here anyways, but this person is just not going to be as along for the ride. They're going to be there, but like, they're not going to be like as happy and as excited as you are. So you're both going to be going towards this Four of Wands, which is that commitment, marriage, that vision that you have for your relationship, but only you are really going to be excited about it unless you do the healing. So either way, you're going to get what you want, but how healthy is that going to be is the question. And a lot of that depends on the moves that you're making. And some of that obviously is on their end as well. Like they have to be open to healing the situation. And yeah, so like there is two sides to this, but you have to come in with a little bit less aggressiveness, more focus on healing and not having strings attached or not having intentions that aren't completely pure, where you have expectations or things that you're like, don't try to reconcile or try to offer something to your partner if you're only doing that to get something in return. That's what it is you're offering something to get something in return, and because you're only focused on what you're trying to get out of the situation, you're skipping over all this stuff, all this healing, all this foundational stuff, all this actual relationship building that needs to happen, because you're too focused on what you're trying to get out of this. You're completely neglecting that's what it is. You guys are completely neglecting the relationship. You're trying to get what you want out of it, but you're completely neglecting the fact that there's a relationship there that needs to be worked on. So focus a little less on the end goal that you're trying to achieve and a little more on what's here in the present and how you can make what's here better. If you make what is here better and as good as it possibly can be, and you put in like all your heart and soul into it, your partner's going to reciprocate. And when you really work on appreciating and doing your best in the current situation, it will always lead to you getting the outcome that you want, which is this. So focus on the partnership. Don't focus on what you're trying to get out of the partnership. I guess like an example of that is, sometimes people don't really care about who they're with. They're just trying to be with somebody so that they're not alone, or they don't really care who they're with. They're just trying to be with somebody so that they can get married, and that's what they want. They just don't want to be alone, or they just want to be married, or they just want to have kids. But who that is, they don't really care, which means that they don't really care about the relationship. They don't really care about the person. They just want the end result. And how can this person give me what I want without me really having to give much in return? And I don't feel like you're quite at that extreme. I feel like you do care about your partner, but this is the kind of mentality that I feel like you have right now. There is something there that is related to this. Like, you are too focused on the end result and not really caring about the person and trying to show up for the person in return for that end result. There is not a lot of reciprocation going on here. And to you, it feels like you're the only one that's putting something in. You feel like they're not reciprocating. That's why you want this Ace of Wands. You want them to show up and to do something or to be present, or, but like, so in your head, it's like, well, I'm doing everything. Why aren't they reciprocating? But it's because everything you're doing is to get something out of it. And you're going in with the intention of not actually giving something in return for what you want. Okay, so I think I've covered that enough. I feel like I have to say it in a few different ways for it to click, because I feel like this is something that maybe you know, but you haven't really brought to your conscious awareness, or like you haven't really wanted to completely address. And I feel like there's a lot of different parts to this that maybe you haven't pieced together to fully understand what's going on and why this isn't working. Like you're wondering what's wrong? Like I'm doing this, why isn't this getting me the results that I want? And now you know. And now you have all the pieces. And essentially all of this is basically creating a situation where your relationship is in a bit of a questionable state. And that's actually interesting because that's where this started. Is like with the Ten of Pentacles and not really appreciating what was there. And you know, it left the situation in a questionable state, and you've made some progress. You've realized you want to make some moves, but now you're still in a questionable state because of what you feel like the other person should be doing for you, and your intentions not being entirely pure, and the other person picking up on that and wondering like, is this actually going to work out? Has this person actually overcome this Ten of Pentacles where they have an appreciation for what's actually real? Or, you know, what's going on here? Because it doesn't seem like they actually do appreciate, because they're coming in with intentions that are not pure, and they're coming in with trying to get something out of the situation instead of trying to build the situation back up, trying to build that relationship and trying to create more sense of trust. And again, the healing does need to come from this Ace of Wands person, but there is a part that you need to play. Like you have to let go of trying to force a relationship to an end result that you want while neglecting your partner. And when you focus on the relationship and what's here and on building that, the trust will build so fast, it might be almost instantaneous. Like it might be a few days when, if you're truly focusing on the relationship and building a connection with the person and not trying to get to some place, the person's going to trust you and be like, oh wow, they're like actually present, they're actually trying, they're like actually in this to win it, not just to win the end result, but to actually win this thing with me together. And their trust will come back so fast, Sagittarius. So right now it's in this questionable state, but that is the move that you need to make. And if you do that, things will be good. And I feel like just looking at the rest of these cards, that's not something that you are necessarily prepared to do. I hope that this conversation will give you a different perspective and get you to do that. Otherwise, like there's some of these cards are pretty intense. As I say that, I feel like you are ready to work on this. So some of this may be like what would have been, because this is leading to positive results in the end. Like this is good. I like what I'm seeing here. So make this change, and I think that you can overcome a lot of some of the darker obstacles to come. And you know, I think that lines up with what we're talking about in the intuitive portion of this video, where it's like, you know that there are obstacles and you feel more in control of yourself than you ever have before, and that's really positive, and you feel really confident about overcoming these obstacles. So I think now that you know what they are and you know how to address them, you can have success in your relationship. So Sagittarius, that is what I'm getting for you for the YouTube portion of this video. If you're interested in the extended portion of the video, I'm going to share the cards that we will cover in there. And so we're going to be talking about the Five of Pentacles, we're going to be talking about the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Emperor, and the Page of Wands. And again, we'll pull any additional cards that are needed to clarify anything that comes up. So if you're interested in that, I will see you there. You can access it at the link. You can access the extended video at the link at the end of this video. It's www.patreon.com/Trishna. It's also in the description box. And if not, thank you so much for watching. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe. I hope this is helpful. Leave me a comment if you have anything you want to share. I love reading them, and I will see you in 2020.